Hello, everyone. My name is Carrie, and I'm interviewing Nash Castro on September 6th, 2020 for the GoTWiC Oral History Project. This interview is being conducted and recorded in a private Discord chat. The recording will be made available for anyone interested on the Black Dragons Discord in the Oral Histories channel. Thank you for joining me today, Nash.
Hello there.
Hi. So, I start out all the interviews with the same question. How do you pronounce your in-game name, and why did you choose this name for yourself?
That's an interesting question since I regularly change my Indian name for basically just for reasons. I mean, I haven't stuck to a particular name for a long period. So yeah, you can refer to me on my with my Discord name since people can also reach me through that. That's the one I share it to people. Well, this is the one that people are more familiar with. If you're familiar with the links on Reddit,
Yes.
they refer to me as Nash Castro, so we'll just stick with this.
Okay. So is it okay if I call you Nash?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay. All right. So tell me, when did you first start playing Game of Thrones Winter is Coming?
Oh, I was also part of that gang that got hooked by the ads on YouTube in March last year.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so yeah, I started in Kingdom 6. So I believe that part was already in the hard launch. I believe Kingdom 6, Kingdom 5. So yeah, I was one of the very first players, if you can say that.
Okay. And what made you interested in playing?
Well, at that time, I was already in the lore of TV series. So, well, as we already know, I mean, the series was already wrapping up that time. So, before that, I just caught up with the series because my brother left me in our home. Well, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say these quote unquote bootleg copies of the first four seasons of Game of Thrones.
Understood. I won't say
So,
anything. Um,
so there, it started from there. I just marathoned it, the first four seasons, and then let's say, oh, this is a good story. I mean, so then I found other bootleg sources of the following seasons, the succeeding seasons to catch up until the final season. So basically, that's how it started. I mean, the combination of the game promoting itself incessantly, if we call it that, and also that the hype of the TV series at the time at that at that time. So basically that's it, and also my interest in RTS, in real time strategy games. So it's a combination of everything basically.
okay. You have experience with similar style games before?
Well, online, yeah, I've doubled in one or two. If you call them as RTS, I mean I've played Travian, I've played Grepolis, I've tried Realm of Empires on Facebook.
Gotcha.
So I've been around basically, and as for offline games, yeah, I've started way back. I mean, I've played Warcraft 2. Red Alert is my favorite series, actually. So Red Alert 2, I finished it numerous times already. So yeah, you
Okay.
can say I'm an RTS guy for at a certain level.
I gotcha. Okay. So, do any family members or friends play with you?
I haven't recommended the game to anyone that I know.
Okay.
As far as I remember, as far as I can remember, so any friends that I've made, who's playing the game, basically I've met through the game.
Gotcha. Okay. So, you said you started out on Kingdom 6. Can you tell
Yes,
me a
that's
little
right.
bit about that?
Well, it was an interesting start. I started with a let me see. Yeah, I believe it was a Polish alliance.
Oh, okay.
um, we kept all communication in game, and since they're talking in Polish most of the time, so I have to rely on the translate the in-game translation. Well, it helps in a way. At least I could understand in context, and through that I got to learn new words. If I yeah, if I could remember, I mean I could actually speak our type good morning, good day in Polish.
You must have gotten Kurwa. I hear that one a lot.
Yeah, so curva, or how do you pronounce it?
I'm just pronouncing it how I read it, Kurwa. I'm sure I'm butchering it, and all my Polish game friends will tell me such. But yeah, Kurwa Mac. That's the one. I think that's the expletive. Um, so what made you choose to join that alliance?
Being a noob at all, I mean, I just click on the first alliance that invited me. So I didn't mind actually, since they also can converse in English, can speak in English. So I don't mind. I mean, joining an alliance whose members or whose majority of the members speak a different language.
I understand. Okay, so you're in this Polish alliance. What happens? What's it like there? Well, you already said what it's like, but how long did you stay on Kingdom 6? Did you join any other alliances?
Yeah, after that, well, the alliance decided to basically dissolve, since they've peaked, because as much as they tried to be an exclusive alliance based on their language or location, I mean, basically they plateaued. Well, their goal is to enter the top 20, and they did. So after reaching that goal, basically the leader said, "Well, this is it for us. I mean, if you want to grow in the game, I mean, might as well join a bigger alliance." So that's what
Okay.
I did.
What
I'm trying
alliance?
to recall the alliance I was with. Well, it was NWW, Night's Watch Warriors,
Oh,
but
okay.
we're part of a bigger alliance that was if I could recall the members of that big group.
Okay.
Basically, we call ourselves the hmm, what you call. Oh, come on! This is so last year. I'm trying to. Uh, for our details already starting to get foggy, man.
It blends over time. Everything starts to blend together, man. It's normal.
Yeah, yeah. I was with yeah, it was the main alliance was SVS.
Oh,
So
okay.
I believe they're in K-12 now. So I was in that big umbrella of the council, if I remember it right. If that's the name of our big group, since K2 has its rebellion. Well, K6 tried our best to be to keep in check FOF.
Okay.
So basically, that's our role there, to counter FOF and their growth. But since FOF is so big and they also have allies of their own, so yeah, we were fighting a very hard fight at that point.
Understood. So, what ended up happening for you then? Did you stay on K6 or did you go elsewhere?
Well, but at this point, my timeline is separated by KVK. So we
Okay.
played the we played the first one. We fought against K8, and you know how K8 worked at that time. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
what
Calvin is in the height there.
yes, I mean, I applaud that guy. I mean, he's a good commander. I mean, I don't know what the opinion of other people say of him, but for me, he's a good guy. I mean, he's a good guy
Calvin is a
overall.
great guy. I've had nothing but
Yeah.
wonderful experiences with him, so, yeah.
So, well, since K6 is divided, you can say we got ramshackled. Yeah,
Okay, so you got beat. All
I mean,
right.
I can't recall who had the worst score difference at that point, but the score difference in our matchup was so big.
Oh, I think K9
So
and
yeah, I mean that
K9 and K14 I think beat you. It was so bad.
Yeah, I believe K9 and K14 was also a mismatch. I mean,
Yeah.
although power wise they're supposed to be of equal strength,
Oh,
but
power wise they were, but Red just trounced ECL during it. But I
mhm,
guess you had a
yeah.
similar experience with OBV. So.
So yeah, so that was K6, and then after that, I've yeah, as I've said, I mean, I've had gained friends along the way. So some of us decided to jump ship, and we were looking for kingdoms.
Okay.
And at the time already, since I already started the Raven Express at that time, so I also have had contacts from other kingdoms. So I was you can say scouting around, fishing around
I gotcha.
on where to transfer, and then I got invited to K10 by Falcon, Night Falcon. There you
Oh,
go. I
HGT.
still remember him. Yeah.
Okay.
So there. So this was the blue diamond glitch where diamonds were still spawning after 3 days. So yeah,
Wow.
we got level 5 diamonds
Oh
because
my
of that.
gosh. No, I haven't heard about this. Please tell me. I don't think I heard about this.
If you don't mind me asking, I mean, what kingdom did you start?
K9. That's why I knew about
Oh,
K9. I was
okay.
yeah, we didn't get that glitch.
Oh, I mean, after one day, I mean, the diamond mines just the blue diamonds just disappeared.
Well, what we had was basically a blanket of diamonds. So there were diamonds almost every square covered, but they did despawn, or rather, they didn't keep spawning after the 24 hours were up. But anything that was still out, you could keep farming. So it felt like it went longer, but that was it. And I know that everybody, when second KVK came around, was hoping that would be repeated, and then we were completely shocked when maybe a tenth of the diamonds that you saw previously were now spawning. That really started the whole diamond frenzy attitude because we all go in with that expectation to have that diamonds everywhere, and now they're gone.
So I don't know what happened to losing kingdoms because I left immediately after they allowed transfers.
Gotcha.
Um, so I'm not sure what happened to K6 and what's the spawning rate of the blue diamonds there. But over in K10, since they won, we were having a field day collecting diamonds then.
That sounds so nice. All right, so you were over on K10. You were in HTT with Night Falcon. What happened? What was it like being on that kingdom and in that alliance?
Well, K10 is a fun kingdom. You can well, from people from the outside view K10 as this small kingdom. Where nothing happens because it's just a Night Falcon and who's the other big guy? Who's the big guy that
Carillion. It was Carillion.
HTT had? Yeah, people say it's just a Carillion show, but
Mm,
also kudos to Night Falcon for running the show. I mean, well, I mean things were organized. I mean, if there are any disputes, it's fixed immediately and without any much in-game drama, so to speak. I mean,
right.
almost all things happen on the Kingdom Discord server.
Okay.
So everything gets discussed there. So in game, I mean, it's relatively peaceful. It's organized. So basically, the ruler is stay in your lane and nothing bad happens.
Okay. So, how long were you on K10 for?
Well, disclosure time. My main account is still on K10.
Oh, okay.
It's mushrooming every now and then whenever I decide to log back in. But every 10 to 14 days it disappears.
Yeah, nope, nope. It's 21 days now. 21
21
days, it
days.
goes into the void.
Good.
Yeah. Um,
um, Also, fun fact. I mean, yeah, I'm going to disclose it here. Actually, Nash Castro is the name of my second account, which started on K14. So I am also familiar with how Red worked at that time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Do you want to
there,
talk
and
about
then
Do you want to talk about your second account since your first account stayed on K10?
so basically that's the end of story of K10. Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so your
I ended
second
it
account,
there.
when did you start that one?
So K14. So yeah, this started around the same time when um, Eric Sean was also opening new accounts for his Twitch channel. I mean,
Okay.
for content Twitch channel basically to start to help newbies with how to quote unquote rush into the game, rush build into the game. So
Right.
I tried it myself as an F2P, as a free to play player.
Right.
I didn't get far as much because back then, I mean, compared to K6 and K10, K14 was more cutthroat. I mean, K6, sure, FOF dominated the kingdom, but at least they set their own rules. I mean, there's a semblance of order. I mean, people can question the rules. I mean, FOF set at that time,
Right.
but at least there were rules that they were being followed. I mean, K14 is basically just free for all. I mean, if you don't have a whale in you or you're not as aggressive as the top alliances, then you get basically eaten alive. So
Wow. Okay.
um, whatever new stories you've heard about K14 it being ultra competitive or being cutthroat. I mean, it's basically that. It's basically it starting on day one.
Okay. So it was kind of a more chaotic environment then.
You can say that. I mean, every kingdom has its own story. I mean, basically, as the Godric Raven, that's what I learned. I mean, even if the most peaceful kingdoms on the outside, you're going to hear people tell me. Well, I have people tell me who I talk to. I mean, it's actually just simmering. I mean, it may look peaceful in game, but if you go to their Discord server, it's just this endless drama, for a lack of a better word.
Gotcha. Okay. So you got quite a different experience between those kingdoms. Did you have a third main, or you just mostly stuck with those two?
I restarted on K44. I'm not sure what the goal was then, but I just
Okay.
started a new account just for the kicks.
Okay.
So there's K44 and K66. So those are my four biggest. Yeah, those are my four biggest accounts. And
Okay.
then that's before I started creating, well, basically dummy accounts for Gothic Raven purposes.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. I want to get your history in first, because then we're gonna jump into your experience with the Raven Express. So tell me a bit about. Have you been in any other alliances? Because you weren't in Red, right? You were just on that kingdom.
Yeah, I was never on the big three. I was never on MTD, the Mighty Turtle Ducks. I forgot. I forgot what M was. I mean, yeah, I know it was MTD before they turned into ATD.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then there's Red, and then there's Nordman. So ND and DM. So
Yes.
those are the three big. Also, NOE. I forgot what's the name. What's the alliance name? But it's NOE. So those are the three four biggest alliances of K14.
Okay.
But yeah, I never joined any of those.
Oh, okay. Did you join any alliance, or you just kind of rolled along?
Well, I was in two alliances. The first one basically I got removed due to inactivity since I started concentrating on the Gothic Raven and on K6 on my bigger on my bigger account, basically.
Right.
Um, and then I joined a more casual alliance, as you can say. It goes by their name.
Okay.
It's a fun-loving alliance, basically. So it was a very very chill alliance. But at the same time, we the members may be chill, but we also have to deal with attacks from the three four biggest alliances every now and then.
I gotcha.
So that's the our getting chill is basically up to a point.
Well, you've been in multiple alliances. How have they differed for you experience wise?
For for me personally, I get to know a lot different personalities. I mean, you've got SVS and uh, SVS and basically their philosophy and how much it differs from FOF. And then you've got HTT,
Right.
um, basically the dominant alliance on K10. So it's also a different experience. Not to get attacked at random. And
Okay.
then K14 basically that alliance is just basically made of quote unquote friends. I mean, it- uh, it's being a fun alliance basically is just we talk about everyday stuff. So it's not really about the game at that point. We just make sure that we don't get attacked. I mean, we watch each other's back, make sure that we stay bubbled
I gotcha.
uh, all the time.
So, what do you believe is key to a successful alliance? Because you've been in a number of them. So, what has worked and what hasn't worked, I guess?
Well, based on the dynamics that I've elaborated on those three examples, I mean, it depends on what your alliances or your group of alliances um, goals or objectives are. I mean, if you're fighting a dominant force, then there's that. I mean, you have to be your tactics um, should be on a supreme level. I mean, you should strategize. I mean, you should also work diplomatically to make sure that even though if you're not in the good side of the dominant alliance, make sure that they don't treat you as a persona non grata or they don't ostracize you in the kingdom.
Right.
And then if you're part of the dominating alliance, well, the work there is to maintain that order and that peace and that in that kingdom, which is hard because I mean every alliance has its own, as I've said, has its own personality objectives. Every member of that alliance has their own personalities, so you have to work with about 100 to 300, 500 people to get them to be on the same page and make sure that they don't attack each other for no reason at all and create more chaos or discord. And then if you're in a fun alliance, basically it's just a matter of getting along and make sure that in game you're not getting harassed, you're not getting attacked. So those are those are very very different philosophies or objectives. So I get to play in all levels of the game basically.
That's kind of
So that's
nice. You get to have this multifaceted experience. Not everybody gets that. So, you were pretty fortunate with it.
it's just a matter of devoting time to the game.
Yeah.
It depends on how you look at it. I mean, I will being the Gothic Raven. I have to have almost a 24/7 approach to the game to keep myself up to date. Which is, I admit that I admit now is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit now
um,
about the being the GoTWiC Raven. So, how did this start?
well, I have to give props to to Eric, Sean, and Finglish. Basically, they're the first chroniclers of the game. I mean, they're the first people that got promoted by the game.
Right.
So watching their Twitch channel, I mean, basically they are a high how to guide to the game. So they guide newbies, they guide veterans on what to do and how to improve.
Right.
They're basically an FAQ channel. So because of that, they've vehemently or publicly stated that they don't deal with drama. So taking a cue from that, so if people are taking quote unquote drama in this game seriously, maybe there's a niche for that. There's a market for that. So basically, that's how it started. It's I got inspired from Eric, Sean, and English, and then I tapped on a niche or a market that they're not catering to,
Right.
and then started to create a website called the Raven Express, and then called myself as the Gothic Raven.
Okay. And how did you start getting reporters for it?
Well, I just started reaching out to different people. It helps that Eric, Sean, and Finglish audience come from different kingdoms, so there's also that.
Okay.
And what else did I do to reach out? Yeah, I also went on Reddit, and then from there, hmm, I'm trying to recall how I reached out to other people aside from spawning different accounts. Yeah, I remember now. I started K44. I started the K44 account basically as a farm account to complement my K10, my K14. But I started playing on it. That I forgot to free transfer it to the kingdom I was supposed to go to, because isn't it after you reach castle level 5, you can't free transfer anymore. So I started, I just played on this kingdom.
Okay.
So
Did
wow, for the
you
life of me, I can't recall how I marketed the game. Basically, people just started contacting me through the website, and at the same time, I'm also asking for can I join the Kingdom Discord server, and that I just ask people around.
right?
So that
Okay.
basically that's how I did it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how did you vet who could participate, who could submit articles? Did you, or did you just take anybody that wanted to offer their time?
First, it was just me writing everything. So, if you have quote unquote scoops, or if you want to have anything shared, um, so that's how I did it at first. But then, eventually, as the game grew, I basically asked help from the community to help me out. So I actually published an article about that I was looking for contributors
Right.
or such people who could help me out, web dev, on editing, on maintaining a Discord server. So I put that out, and then people started saying, "Ah, yes, I want in." So I've had people who actually help out some from the background,
Okay.
others if you've been to the website, I mean, we use different pseudonyms for our byline. So if it's not the Gothic Raven, then obviously somebody else wrote it, and they were the ones who actually wrote it. I just did minor editing for style and
Okay.
consistency, and that's it. That's just my that's the most that I did to their articles.
So how did you manage the articles? Is it just whatever people wanted to submit, or was there like a sign up list? This is what we're looking for, who wants to do it, that kind of thing?
Yes, some of the content I delegate and assign to somebody else, because at that point I was having so much backlog that I've had others write for me. Others submit their, let's say they have an idea that they want to expound on, elaborate on. I said sure, go ahead. Um, one of those was what's his name? Alfred E. I mean, well, he used his actual in-game name as his as his byline, as his pseudonym. So I guess it's okay. It's fine to disclose
Yes.
his name. So yeah, all of his articles were basically his ideas. I mean, he wanted to present a more mathematical approach to the game.
Okay.
So, and I'm also a fan of that. Being a sports fan, I mean, I'm also a fan of analytics, of metrics, of stats. So that's why I'm also enamored by KVK, because it's a stats heavy event. I mean, you have scores, um, there are different ways to score those points. So um, uh, there are many, basically, how do you call it, there are many ways to skin the there are many ways to skin the cat, so to
I
speak.
gotcha.
So there.
um, so were you the one that came up with the KVK awards?
So that one is Spider Meister, who basically is the main editor. He's the one who's running the publication right now. He's also
Okay.
our web dev. So he's also the one who spiced up the account. Previously, it was just WordPress template, but now, I mean, everything that is Spider Meister's doing, and why now the website looks more like a news website, a news publication website, rather than just a WordPress blog.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I noticed that you had changed things around, so that was his inspiration.
Yeah, it was all him. I mean, I just let him free reins, since he offered these services. I mean, let me. He basically told me, "Let me spice up your website." Sure, go ahead. I mean, do your thing.
Very cool. So, do you still contribute to the Raven Express, or because I know you don't play actively now? So, at what point do you start stepping away from your role as the GoTWiC Raven?
Well, I officially stepped down. At least I announced on the TRE Discord server that I was stepping down around basically my last KVK, which was June.
Okay.
So basically, I or yeah, around that time, basically the time that I returned, people who are familiar recognized my login patterns. Basically, I was gone from December to around March or April, then returned basically when the whole world was in quarantine.
Yes.
So this was around April. Yeah, and then stayed in the game for about two to for the next 2 to 3 months. So
Okay.
yeah, I believe my last KPK was June.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, around that time, in that small window between April and June, I officially stepped down. So I give myself the role as editor emeritus basically, and made made Spider Master the Godric Raven.
okay. All right. Congratulations, Spider Maester, on your promotion. Um, so the question then now is, where do you see yourself fitting in all this? Do you still play the game? Do you still feel like the Raven Express is still sort of part of your experience, or is it just more, I'm just watching where things are going now?
I could say it's a little bit of both. I mean, people do still update me once in a while, even if I'm out of the game, which I appreciate. I mean, thanks to them. I mean, even though I'm not in the game, I mean, I still get to know what the new features are, what the new events are. Even, I mean, if I don't ask directly. I mean, before it was me who was asking around. Now it's the players reaching out to me and tell me, oh, how are you? What's up? I mean, have you seen this? Have you seen this new feature? And then I respond correspondingly. If I'm not playing the game, then I say no, sorry, I don't. But it looks interesting. That's what I say.
Is there anything in particular that you've heard recently that you are interested in now?
Well, I've heard that there's a third dragon. I mean, they released a third
Oh
dragon.
yes, the ice dragon.
And then before I left, well, they were planning to start the marriage, the in-game
Oh,
marriage.
it's in. It's in now.
Now, that one I didn't get to experience firsthand. So yeah, color me intrigued, color me curious. I mean,
You get
although
a
I have
shiny
logged in to
bubble.
try it myself.
I totally
Uh,
married two alts together. It's adorable. There's no, at this time, doesn't seem to be any true practical use for it. But for those people that are actually, just want that little bit of role play, it's fun.
Yeah, speaking of roleplay, I mean, I believe it was more of an RPG concept than an RTS. But I mean, if the game made it work, then kudos to the developers.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
as for marriage, I mean, K2 has had marriages, in-game marriages before the game actually launched, having actual
Yeah.
in-game marriage. So if you've heard of that, and actually I've published an article about that. So basically, just to make it part of the lore that hey, in-game marriages are a thing before it became an actual thing.
Well, maybe you inspired them. I don't know. Do you know if the devs read the Raven Express?
Well, what they do, I mean, they did reach out to me. I mean, especially at the time as well, I was very active in the game and very active as the Gothic Raven. They
Right.
actually reached out to me, and they actually helped me out. Um, Launch give me some details on new developments, which I appreciated. And as a token, I mean, they also gave me some, um, let me say, compensation for my
Okay.
effort, for my work.
Okay.
So maybe, well, I won't fault them or blame them. I actually commend them, because at this point in the game, I mean, the game has become too big for just one publication to cover everything. This also I realized after I returned. I mean, I came back. There were already 140 kingdoms, and I just can't. And just hard to do it by myself. I mean, and
Yeah.
even if I have the Raven Express has working staff, I mean, it's even hard to collect information. I mean, we're just basically 10 people. Um, yeah, 10 people, and then there 140 kingdoms. So if we're going to divide the work, that's 14 kingdoms per person. I mean,
That's a lot of kingdoms to cover.
yes.
So you actually like the chronicler system then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, actually I do. I mean, well, depends on how people use it. I mean, if they're going to use it the same way that I did, if their purpose is the same that I have, yeah, have. I mean, still present tense. I mean, still the Ravens Express is still ongoing. So I mean, if they use it the same way that I do, I mean, it is a big help into the game,
Okay.
and it's a big feature in the game, big part of the game.
So I remember at one point you announcing that if anybody was quitting and they were willing to give you their account so that you could track their kingdom, how many accounts did you end up with?
Well, there was one who voluntarily gave their dummy account, since
Okay.
they were concentrating on their main account. Oh wait, well I have a let me see, I have three, I guess, three players, and then there's Alfred.
Right.
who basically did all of the legwork for me, or what I was planning to do. So before I was thinking of setting up multiple dummy accounts for every kingdom, he already did that. So aside from his insight and input in the on the website as a contributor, I mean, he also gave out his basically his dummy accounts, and he had accounts until K80, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a very 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 big help, especially for AC, and since results for Alliance Conquest is kingdom specific. I mean, you can view results of Alliance Conquest results if you're in a different kingdom. So
Yes.
that was a very big help.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That must have been a lot to manage. Did you guys just basically have the list up in like the Discord or something for your administration, your editors or whatever to just look at whenever they needed to log in?
Well, that was the main purpose of the TRE Discord, and then I just opened it up for patrons,
Okay.
basically as an add-on, as a compensation, since you're willingly contributing to the publication, might as well give you access at least to the main rooms.
I
But
gotcha.
of course, as editors, as the staff ourselves, we have our own private rooms to talk about basically TRE stuff, editor stuff.
I gotcha. Okay. So let me go back to the game part a little bit away from the Raven Express. Um, who did you enjoy most playing with in the game? Who did you spend the most time with?
Well, for me, I'm not. I admit I'm not a fighter. Well, basically it goes with what's the term that I'm looking for? Anyway, yeah, I'm not a fighter because I'm free to play. I mean, it's hard to be a fighting player when you're free to play.
Yes.
Um, so part of that, I mean, professionally, since I'm a communications major, I'm a communications graduate. This is also me enriching my experience in the game as the quote unquote the as a chronicler.
Right.
So I role played that basically. I role played myself into the game. Basically, just for me, basically to enrich my experience, because as a member of an alliance, basically all I do is just follow the directive of the leaders. I mean, if they say today is farm day, then that's just what we do. If it's alliance mobilization week, then that's just what we do. So basically, as a player, I try to enrich that experience by setting up the Raven Express and playing as a Gothic Raven.
Mm.
So there's that. So if you say how's my experience in the game, I say that is being the Gothic Raven is part of my experience in the game.
Okay. So you mentioned a bunch of different events. What's your favorite part of the game?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't answer that directly. Um, well, obviously, I enjoy KVK.
Yes. I
It,
imagine so, considering the coverage you would always have on that.
because well, it is the first major event that was released. So there's also that.
Okay.
Aside from the regular whenever they open the castles.
Yes. Yes, you're
Mhm,
right.
mhm. So aside from KVK, that's the next big event that and in the early part of the game. So most of the articles about those and the big cities, the great cities, KVK. But for me personally, yeah, I like KVK. I like alliance mobilization.
Mm.
I like the um, the competition in alliance conquest, basically when alliances go up and down in the ranking in the rankings, that's what I watch more rather than the actual the 60-minute game.
You just like the statistics behind it.
Yes.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
Well,
Um,
since they are the first events that were launched, and they could be compiled in a statistically, there's a statistics factor in those events. So yeah, those are my most favorite events.
I got it. Okay. So if those are your favorite, what's your least favorite? What do you just dread when you log in to do?
Um, what's the event where you have to spin a wheel and you need to have 1,000 tokens before you can unlock
Oh
a castle?
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh gosh, I don't remember the name of it. Oh, but I know what you're talking about. And yeah, you
It's
barely get
it
any
comes about
tokens.
every 3 days, right?
Yeah, it's like 3 days and then nothing for a month. And you can only get maybe a certain amount unless you start spending black diamonds.
That's one that I mean, what is this about?
It's a game of chance, but I do know one person that has won a permanent castle skin out of it. But they are like the only
Good
person
for
that I've
them.
heard of, period, that has. So, yeah. It was kind of funny because when he did, he was on the verge of quitting and then he won. And so he's like, I can't quit now. Uh,
There's your hook.
yes, that actually happens. That happened to another friend with the diamond ship. He was ready to quit. He was just raging about the game. And then he was like, I'm going to go spend all my diamonds on the diamond ship just to have fun with it. And then he hit the jackpot. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go spend it, blah, blah, blah. He played another month or two. And he's like, I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to spend it all and quit. And then he won the jackpot again. So we're just
Oh,
like,
what
you're
luck.
not allowed to quit, apparently.
Maybe I'm approaching the game the wrong way
I
because
know, right?
I start playing every now and then.
They know you're going to keep coming back. Uh, so,
I
is
know the urge is there. I mean, I just don't have the time because I'm focusing on other projects and work. But
no, yeah.
but there's always the but.
There is always the but. There's always a possibility of a later date. Um, so is there anybody in particular that you admire in the game? I know you mentioned Night Falcon. Who else?
I also admire Sir Calvin.
Okay.
So and well, I also have to give props for Eric, Sean, and Finglish because without them, I mean, I wouldn't take the I wouldn't have thought of making basically a fan. Well, it's not the fan fiction because it's based on actual events in the game, but basically put up an in-game publication.
I gotcha. Do you?
So yeah, yeah. Sorry, just to add. Yeah, it's
No, go
also
ahead.
part because compared to other games, I mean, you have to create your own lore. But with GoTWiC, I mean, there's a lore built in because it's based on a franchise. So there's a lot of things you can work on in creating a publication. First, when I have no content, I mean, basically created content based on the lore
Right.
of the Game of Thrones, the lore, the GRR Martin part of the lore. So there's that. I mean, you have a foundation.
What is your proudest moment in the game?
Outside of the Raven Express,
Yeah.
winning a KVK is a big achievement for me.
Nice. Okay.
uh, yeah,
All right.
and well, I would like to say well, there have been many alliance mobilization. I'm trying to think if a particular alliance mobilization event comes up to mind.
Mm.
But yeah, outside of the Raven Express, basically, it's the KVK, and outside of the game, my best moment is basically getting to know other people. I mean, to the different alliances that I've been with.
Okay. Actually, I forgot to ask a question earlier when we were talking about the Raven Express. So you have a lot of different submissions that come in from different people. Have you ever rejected a story?
I don't reject outright. I mean, it's just that either the information just became too stale because a lot were coming in and I didn't. And at that point, I was just it was just me by myself and I couldn't write everything as much as I wanted to.
Right.
So there's that. So unintentionally, maybe some information that I got didn't get to see the light of day, which I apologize now.
Oh, no.
Um,
No, it's more a question of not so much what you might have overlooked, but let's say one of your contributors submitted a story. What would be a reason to reject it? Or would you not? Would you just let them submit it as long as it was grammatically correct?
yeah, I let them write, do their thing basically, and then I just check it after they publish it, or basically after they're finished with it, they left it in drafts, and I look at it first before I press publish. So I don't reject anything outright.
Okay.
Basically, I give everyone the same freedom that I give myself. So if ever anyone complains or writes a comment that the information is incorrect or it's incomplete, it's because I treat it because this is the information that I have and this is all I can impart.
Right.
So I also give the same, well, the same freedom to the writers. I mean, it's what they know. They write from their perspective. Now I granted that what they know may not be also complete or accurate. So yeah, you'll hear complaints.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably gotten challenging at times. Like people complaining like this is not accurate, that's not accurate. How do you keep that how do I put it? How do you keep the publication going with the same freedom that you wanted to have while at the same time dealing with the complaints that potentially come in from that freedom of expression?
Well, for me, since I have a background in journalism, so I use those same practices, the same best practices, the
Right.
same ethics. So I can only speak for myself that at least I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So that's me. I mean, so as for the contributors and the writers, I just guide them I just guide them that uh, preferably do it this way, to make sure you get both sides of the story at the very least. If they don't want to, if one side doesn't want to comment on the issue, then that's their prerogative. Just state that according to the published article.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there's that. I also help out the writers on what to do and how to do it. So it's not totally a free for all basically.
Okay. But how do you still manage the people that come and complain to you? Because that's got to be overwhelming at times.
I have to admit it was. It's also partly the reason why I took a break from the game
Mm,
after yeah, in around end of November, December. Um, Things were getting too contentious at that point. Uh,
gotcha.
and this was also the part when I also opened the publication for contributors with their own bylines. So we were also getting feedback from articles that I did that right. So there was also that. So I had also to temper that. But I guess the stress, the anxiety took over that I couldn't handle. That I had to physically distance myself from the game
I'm sorry.
because of that.
I'm sorry. Did you ever imagine that you would get this stressed over a game?
Well, at first, I told myself I should be well be, be, because I was a news writer before. I was a sports writer before for major publications here in our
Oh, okay.
country. So I should know what to expect. But then, so I actually braced for it the first few weeks. Well,
Mm.
I was also getting feedback that I was the Raven Express is actually Eric's dummy account.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
so
that's
yeah, and they actually doxed me because
what?
of that. But I told them, you can see me on my Discord account. My Discord account is public. My profile there. I share my other profiles there. So I'm actually easy to find if you know where to look.
Right.
And
Wow.
then I also show up. Well, my real name shows up on Google search results. So
Oh,
basically, that's
Nash. Oh, I'm so
well,
sorry.
I'm not hiding myself. Well, if they discover who I am, then that's good. And then I also disclose a part of me um, to people. Basically, I already trust in the game. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I didn't mind. And so those were just the first few weeks. So I wrote it out, so I thought I'd be fine then. But then months later, I mean, when there were more kingdoms open, more people were reading, more people were leaving comments and reactions, and more people are aware of the existence of the website, the publication. Then that's where basically I got overwhelmed.
I can understand that. Yeah. No, it really blew up. I remember hearing about it the first time and I'm like, "Okay, this is amazing. This is really cool." And then everybody seemed to know about it and I'm like, "Okay." So, yeah, you did make a mark on the history in this game, Nash. You should be proud of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I would say let's start wrapping this up. But this is a standard question I ask everybody. What is the one thing you most want people to remember about you? I'm assuming the GoTWiC Raven, but is there anything else?
Well, this would sound like a beauty pageant answer, but I would like to I would like to remember as that alliance member or friend that was fun to hang out with. And speaking of, I never got to participate in one of your karaoke nights days
I
because it's
know. I asked you so many
early
times, and I
morning
was
where
like,
I
I'm done
am.
asking him. He will show when he's ready to. So you have a
I,
goal to work towards. Come to karaoke.
And I actually have an audio equipment set up so that I could have some reverb,
Oh my gosh.
as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, no, you're coming. That's it. That's it. I know how to reach you now, so you're coming. You're coming to karaoke. Uh,
So you must compel me now to attend.
yep. It's documented now. It's permanently recorded. He's coming to karaoke, people. Um, okay. Is there anything else that you would like to include in this oral history?
I guess we've covered everything. I mean, I've told about the Raven Express in big detail. I've talked about my in-game experience. To those who are not familiar with my in-game experience, for obvious reasons, I keep myself on the down low in-game. That's why I keep changing my in-game name.
Yes.
But people who know me, obviously, people in the alliance where I've been a member with know who I am, so they know where to reach me, how to reach me.
Okay.
So there,
Well,
I mean, this is the first time basically I've told everyone in this grand scale who I am and how I play, outside of being the GoTWiC Raven. So
I think that's
there.
great. I think that's great because you're more than just that icon. So they now get to know you a little bit better without doxing you. People, don't dox people. Come on. Like, seriously? All right. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you, Nash, for your time. It was greatly appreciated.
Thank you as well for giving me the opportunity. I mean, I appreciate this. I mean, see, even if I'm not in the game actively, I mean, people do still reach out to me, and this is one of the things that I want to get out of the game. I mean, it's the people, the connection,
Yes,
the camaraderie, the friendship.
absolutely. Okay, so thank you very much and have a great evening. Or great day, rather.
Yeah, same to you.
Okay, bye bye.